Welcome to another episode of the Black Access Club podcast. My name is Security. I am the host, and today I have with me Chantel.
Hello.
Alright, so Chantel, I came across her. I think I want to say I came across you last year.
Yeah.
Maybe before that, because I saw what you was doing with the financial literacy and the children and whatnot. It's like, this is good. This is what we need. I was kind of upset that you didn't have it for like older teenagers, like adults. But
It's common.
it's all understandable. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Shantel DeShields. By profession, I'm a teacher. I've been teaching at Barclay for going on 15 years. I'm a mother of a son. His name is Adio. And I am an entrepreneur. And my business is called Pocket Change BDA. And Pocket Change BDA is basically a social enterprise dedicated to teaching 21st century financial literacy to teens and kids. And the reason I decided to open up a business teaching children about money is because I would say about 4 years ago, I was at work and I was like, this is only money I can make. Like, I'm really at the highest turn within my business, within my teaching profession, unless I became a principal in like an ITL or something, and that was nothing that I really ever wanted to do. So COVID came and I started to read, or just before COVID, I started to read, and I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was like, oh my gosh, if I would have learned this when I was a kid, I probably wouldn't be teaching because I have to. I would be teaching because I want to, right? So from there, I was like, like, children need to know this. Like, I know I didn't learn this. I teach, so I know what children are being taught, right? And then after talking to students, I really found that they really wanted to learn about this, right? So I started Pocket Change BDA, and actually, let me go back. So that's also my why to start my business. But also, when I was a child, my granny used to tell me stories about my great grandfather. I actually met him. He died when I was like 3 or 4, but he was an entrepreneur and he owned over like 12 grocery stores in Bermuda. I think it was more than that. But at that time, black man being so progressive was kind of like a big deal, a threat. Like, because if you have all of that, we probably wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation right now, right?
Yeah.
So he owed the bank money, and they took all of the profits from him, all of these stores. Instead of taking 1 or 2, they took all of them. So I think that it was those teachings from young that sparked the whole entrepreneurial idea, and then also the concept of generational wealth, which is something that is a focus in my business, generational wealth and financial freedom, because I understand what that does and how empowering it is. And knowing what my life could have been like if my grandpa would have had 2 of those stores, or 5 or 10, like Linda's or Marketplace, it would have been like one of those,
Right.
And I think he started his business before actually one of the main, grocery stores even started.
So after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, what would you say sparked the interest for you to take more interest into your finances?
So when I read the book, it was like, okay, this is how you make more money. When I was younger, my daddy he was like the one that talked to me about finances the most. But the moral of the story was kind of like, save. Okay, so I'm saving and I'm like, my life's not changing. Like, why isn't my life changing? So then I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it was like the aha moment. Okay, now you gotta invest your money into things that generate more income. The idea of passive income. I remember always saying like, this isn't the life for me. This isn't the life that I want to live. Even as a teacher, I got to the point where I'm still a teacher, but even as a teacher, I got to the point where I was just like, I have so much more to offer myself, the world, my community than this right here. And my granny would say, you're so ambitious, you're too ambitious. And I'm like, no, I'm reading these books and these people's telling me like, if you follow these steps, you can have the life that you desire, right? And then with the whole passive income making money while you sleep. That was like, oh yeah, yes, that's what I'm talking about. You know, so it was that book that honestly was the catalyst to my business, but also my financial journey, my drive, my ambition. And I think that as a community is not something that we talk about. Growing up, but we're taught, oh, money is the root of all evil. Eating money grows on trees. Like, we heard that a lot. Have you heard that?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So then I learned about having a positive money mindset and being positive. And when it comes to you and you give or you move it, is energy. Money is a currency, right? So, yeah. You could edit that out.
Yeah, that's funny. There's no problem. So what would you say you did next after reading this book? Like, how did you start managing?
So after that, I looked at my finances. Like, I heard about a budget before. I didn't know how to do that. Like, it was the craziest thing when a friend of mine sat down with me and went over their budget and how they do it. It was like, oh, this is rocket science. Like, if I did this, okay. Like 1 + 1 was gonna be 2, and then 2. Like, it was like the basic steps. Like, if you just knew the basic steps of budgeting, and then setting financial goals, and then saving to invest, and saving a certain percentage of your money. So it would be like, okay, well, how much do I have to save? Okay, rich there, poor there says save minimum of, take that back. It's a 50-30-20 rule. So it says save 50% of your money goes towards your needs, 30% wants, and then 20% savings and investments, right? And then in The Richest Man in Babylon, which is another amazing book that everybody should read, it talks about saving a minimum of 10%. So I take all of that to say it's giving you direction based off of what your circumstance is, right? So Bermuda has a higher cost of living. Yeah. So it may be hard for somebody to save 20%. So then you take to the Richest Man in Babylon method and save 10. But the moral of the story is ultimately save as much as you can, you know, and then leverage that to make you more money. Yeah. And then from there, I was like, okay, I had my first cohort of Money Academy, and it was a lot of my friends' children and my son's friends, but they kept coming back. They loved the information. I think that children seeing that they could make a way, like they have these skills to do that, I think that that empowers them so much. So that's what I want to do for them, like within my business. And if they have financial understanding, they make more confident financial decisions, and then overall that makes Bermuda a better place, right?
Yep. So what made you decide to target children as your target market?
Well, children are like what they tell me in school, tabula rasa, like a blank slate. So it's easier, not easier, but their minds are more open to learning things like that, and it's easier for them to learn it because they don't know anything else, right? So as they get older, it will come natural. And I find that that's more like from a foundation perspective. You know, when you lay a great foundation, then it's inevitable that there will be greatness, right? So that's my goal. Obviously, children live with their parents, so I also target the parents. In the months to come, I plan to have workshops with parents, because if I live at home with my parent and my parent doesn't understand what I'm trying to talk to him about or communicate to him, it's difficult. But if everybody in the house is speaking the language, it makes it so much more effective, right? Yeah.
So what have you done to better your personal finances over the past few years?
Okay, so I've met with accountants, financial experts, and just going over my debt, if I had any at the time. I went over my debt, and we created systems to get out of debt. So that's always the first thing that you should do if you're trying to pursue a greater level of financial freedom or understanding. And then from there, I met with people that are entrepreneurs that have businesses, successful businesses, and I asked their questions. I used to work, or I still work sometimes. Well, I haven't worked in a while at People's Pharmacy, but I work at People's Pharmacy sometimes. And when people would come in the store with the black cards or the premier banking cards from HSBC, I would ask them questions like, how did you get there? Like, tell me about your journey, because I'm curious. Because if I see them doing it, then I know I could do it, right? I read more books, and to tell you the truth, I got a master's degree, and I said I will never read another book again. But here I am, and I enjoy reading. It's actually, I guess, like for kids, is what you read. And if you see that what you're reading is making a difference in your life, it's like, okay, I'm going to read more,
I can agree with that, because in school I hated reading, but now I actually enjoy reading because I'm learning something that I want to learn. It's not learning something that I'm being forced to learn. And I think that's the real difference. I think it's something you can change in the school system, but I think that's more something at home that you can do as parents and as a community.
Yeah.
And ask children what do they like.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
then give them books on that, and then it would spark their interest into other options as well.
So like I said, I'm a teacher, so I try to also talk to my students when there's time about finances and things like that, and they enjoy it. They enjoy it a lot when you show them like, okay, these are ways that you can invest your money, because that's also something that we're not taught as a community, right? Like, we're not taught to invest, and when we think of investing, what's the first thing people think of?
Stock market.
Yep. But there are so many other ways that you can invest. You can invest in businesses. You can start your own business. Like when I tell students that I save money to make more money, and they're like, what that means, Mrs. Shield? You chose me at my camp. What does that mean? So I saved $10,000, and I was able to purchase a product, and it be sold in Bermuda, right? And I'm like, so that's me making more money. That's me making my money work for me. That's like passive income right there. And they're like, so you really saved that much? And I was like, yes. What do you think that requires? And they're like, all right, discipline. You gotta set a goal and be focused. So they know the things, but it's just showing them how it works, So I was able to do that, and it's like, okay, now what else we're gonna do? Like, how can we do it again? And then I see, how we see like wealthy people, and people's like, why they always want to make more money? Like, what? Like, they ain't got enough? And I mean, everybody is different, but I think I understand why, because it's like when you see that what you're doing works, it's like, okay, well, let me try. Yeah, how can I get better? This didn't work this time. Okay, we're gonna get it the next time, So that's the exciting part of this journey for me. And it's also important for me to practice what I'm promoting, right? What I'm preaching. And that's what I'm doing. And I think it's important for us to show kids, like, when they're little, we say, dream big, the sky's the limit. But we should keep telling them that, because it's real. Like, somebody dreamt about an airplane. Like, years ago, nobody thought an airplane would exist. So why is it that you can't be a multimillionaire? Why can't you in multiple properties? Why can't you have multiple businesses? And a large part of my business is also to empower young people, to instill self-confidence and positive self-esteem, because it's important. When you feel good about yourself, you know you could do things. Nobody can tell me I can't do it.
So when did you start your summer camps and start teaching children?
Okay, so when I started teaching children, like, as an
like with the with the sorry, trying to blank pocket change.
Okay, so I would say in 2000 and it's 2000. No, what's this, 2020, right? No, 2020. It's 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020. I started teaching my financial literacy to kids. And that was for high school age kids. That's what I first started with. And from there, I started to have camps during the school breaks for younger kids. And that was very successful. And then from there, I evolved to the past 2 weeks I had half-day workshops for like middle school age kids. And they loved it. They actually said, "Why is not the whole day?" I'm like, maybe next time.
So, did you do any sort of education on financial literacy?
Yes. So I actually am currently enrolled in a program. It's a Canadian program. Can I look to see what the name is? I can't remember. Off the top of my head. What is it called? Oh, Udemy.
Say that one more time.
Udemy.
Udemy.
Wait, let me double check for that one. But it's like a program that's at your own pace, and it's really good. Like, although it's based in Canada, the information is really good. And I think that me doing that, it kind of solidifies me a bit more to certain demographics of people.
Yeah.
Although I do know that the information that I'm given is information, So, but it is a good balance, right? And it legitimizes me.
And what's the certification for?
Sorry, you asked me questions that I couldn't. Where is it? I did a course like 3 months ago. I haven't done it in like forever. Well, since 3 months. Why can't I find it? What is Udemy? Can I get the name of that and send it to you? Or no? Okay.
So this is towards like a certificate?
Yeah.
Okay. And financial literacy or something along those lines?
Something along those lines, yeah. So because I also have like my masters and things, is actually don't talk about none of this. I mean, don't include that right there, because I don't know what I'm saying about that. But it's so along my journey, I met a beautiful, amazing lady named Martha Myron. She's actually a financial columnist for the Royal Gazette.
Okay.
And she reached out to me, and she's actually one of my mentors, and she's an advocate of me pursuing this. Yeah. But I will get the name for you. I don't know what I can do.
That's not a problem. So what do you intend on, once you achieve this certification, how do you intend on using it differently than what you do now?
That's actually a good question. I think it opens up bigger doors for pocket change. It is gonna help with the exposure and the reach of it. So I'm looking forward to that. But as far as me as an individual, I actually don't really know. I have visions or things that I want to happen for myself and for pocket change, but not in a way. I haven't thought about it in a way of like me being a financial analyst, like nothing like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are ways that you teach your students to invest?
So I teach them about entrepreneurship. That's like huge, a big part of pocket change's pillars of success.
Okay.
So entrepreneurship, and then with that is like, investing yourself in things that can make you more marketable or help to leverage. You can leverage as far as a business opportunity. For instance, if you like technology or recording, get certifications in that, so then you could create another stream of income for yourself and maybe do that on the side. Or if you work for, let's say, a business and they need somebody, they could pay you to do that. So that's 2 streams of income within your business, right? Or within your job. And then also investing in businesses in the sense of, if you save money, you can say, if a friend of yours has a construction company or a landscaper, you could say, okay, I want to buy the next 5 of your lawnmowers, or I want to invest in this bobcat. A friend of mine has a construction company, and he actually offered me that, And it was like, okay, that's another way to do it, right?
Right.
So every time the bobcat would touch the red, I would make money off of that.
Okay.
And then there's, you know, stocks, investing in cryptocurrency. I don't really speak on that thoroughly. I just give that as examples to invest in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you, I'm assuming you have a curriculum for Pocket Change.
Yeah.
Did you create it yourself or did you find it somewhere else?
It's a mixture of resources from other places and then things that I've embedded to make it more cultural for our kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you done any courses or anything that you would consider investments into yourself?
Yeah, I found myself investing in opportunities to learn. For instance, my goal is to be a real estate investor. I want to invest in real estate, right?
Mm-hmm. So in Bermuda or somewhere else?
I would, yeah, Bermuda and overseas. So I invest in like courses or workshops about things like that, different ways to do that. How to leverage your businesses, as far as, or leveraging your businesses, your properties, right? But creating structures that recycle the money back into your business, right? Or into your properties. And then I also recently signed up for Auctionable CEO by Donnie Egan.
Mm-hmm.
So she is a coach, a mentor for like celebrities. Mm-hmm. And myself and a friend of mine, we were talking about meeting her or her being a mentor. And then we looked at how much she charges, and it's like $20,000. And it's like, okay, we're getting have that soon, but right now we don't. So it's like, okay, we gotta work our way to that. And she hit me up, my friend, and she was like, oh my gosh, she's having a special. It's like $97 a month. We could sign up.
Oh, nice.
So we took that by the horn, and we were like, yeah. So like being in a room with her and her reach and her network of people. It's like so amazing, and even the people that are within the cohort, it's like wow, like when you think bigger than Bermuda,
yeah,
it's like the sky is really the limit. Like
you used to come here all the time, you know.
Right? She said it in one of our.
Because I met her.
Oh really?
Yeah, I met her when I was at the podcast summit. She's like, yeah, right. Bermuda. That place is expensive. I was like, yes, it is. She's like, well, when I was going there, I couldn't afford the lifestyle. Whoa. But now, you know, it's easy to pay $20 for a burger and whatnot. But yeah, she was telling me that she used to do a lot. She used to have a lot of clients here.
Okay.
So
that's
it's nice that you were able to get into her program. So what is it that she does in her programs? I really don't know.
So it's basically this program is basically about taking you to the next level. So one thing to be an entrepreneur, right? Mm-hmm. But is another thing to be a CEO, right? Mm-hmm. So where I want to be at a position where I have numerous businesses, but delegating more than doing the work, right? Mm-hmm. So she says there's systems in which that can happen and puts us in connection with the people within our cohort that can actually help us get there a lot quicker or help us together, you know. And it's actually very inspiring to hear her journey, and when you see people that look like you that's experienced similar things or you can relate to what the talking about, it's like, whoa, like representation does matter, you know.
Yes, it does.
Like it does matter. And it's an amazing experience. It's when she talks about her lifestyle and how she lives, and I'm like, I'm gonna be living like that. That's how I wanna live. Like, and her, she was saying her granny or one of her family members were like, you know, we have a millionaire in our family, and it was like, it's so taboo to say that, right? Mm-hmm. It's so taboo that people that we know or people that look like us could be millionaires, but with all of that, it's never about money being everything. It's never about, oh, if you have money, you're happy.
Right.
No, because we know numerous people were seeing it on Instagram, the tabloids, Facebook, whatever, and it's like this person that has everything committed suicide, or this person is not happy, or the orange up, whatever the case may be. But the moral of the story is, yes, money equates to opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Money creates options for you, and that's what I teach the kids in my workshops and camps. What your view of success is your view of success. So my view of success might be, or is, I want to be able to travel the world and my passive income be steady coming in, and I created a life for myself that I no longer need to physically work, and I want to have experiences, and the experience that I want, you have to pay a certain amount of money for, right? But if somebody else's level of success is, I want to have 2 businesses, and I want this to be successful, and I want to teach my children to run this business. If that's success, then go for it,
Yeah. So everyone's meaning of success is different.
Yeah.
It's something that I've learned. So what would you say you're looking to get out of this program?
Well, my ultimate goal is to impact and reach, I would say this year, a minimum of 200 children, whether that's in workshops, camps, doing workshops at schools on my own, seminars, and ultimately, within time, creating a financial ecosystem for Bermuda that's more economically sound, and for the people that live here. And then knowing that pocket change had an impact on them, it's like, wow, like that's like the ultimate. Like when they could say, I took part in pocket change, and if it wasn't for that, my life may not, or I might not be here today. So that's the greatest jam for me. I just want to help people to change their mindset and change the way of thinking, and like anything's possible. It really is. Like whatever you think, you dream of. What a man by the name of David Proctor says, he says, if you could dream it in your head, you could have it in your hand, right? So, that's what I'm living for, and that's what I want the people that I come into contact with to feel and know and believe that for themselves.
Okay, so just another question. Where do you see pocket change Bermuda in the next 5 years?
Okay, so pocket change BDA, definitely have more products. I want to have an app that is inspired by the different regions that it's gonna reach. Board games, things, like a lot of products, board games, a series of books. I want pocket change to have international reach, and impact, and be a pillar in the education system. And my ultimate goal is to have like a building where young people are, like a hub for financial literacy resources and people and information and workshops and things like that, and also a place where they can become better people, and feel empowered and safe to learn and want to learn.
Okay. So what would you say, pardon my question, I apologize. What would you say for our listeners is the top 5 books to read on financial literacy? Or your favorite 5, I should say. Your favorite 5 books.
Well, I wouldn't say I have, at the moment, I don't have 5 financial literacy books. I have financial literacy books, a top, I would say 3 right now, with a combination of self-books.
Okay, go for it.
So, I would say Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's a fact. The Richest Man in Babylon, The Secret, You Are a Badass, And depending on the age, you know, it's different.
Which one?
You are. I mean, You Are a Badass is a great book.
It's a series.
Yes. So it's a great.
Which one of the series?
I can't remember.
So I know there's a Making Money. There's one for Habits, and there's another one.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Alchemist.
Okay, The Alchemist.
Yeah. And Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Alchemist, Richest Man in Babylon, You Are a Badass, and The Secret. And when you I used to hear people talking about The Secret when I was a kid. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I always thought it was like a romance type show.
Me too.
Before. And then finally, I had someone on the podcast, and it was like, The Secret, you need to read it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, why am I can't read about romance? And then you started telling me, it's like, no, it's about the law of attraction.
Yeah.
So I read it. And once I say after I read it, I started implementing it. And then little things that I've been saying to myself, it just been throwing itself at me over and over and over again. So the law of attraction is real.
It's real.
So I definitely, and it's all a mindset thing when it comes to that.
And reading mindset books, it's just like, I feel as though you gotta keep reading books like that.
Mm-hmm.
I also like to listen to Steve Harvey, his motivational presentations on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to this. Also, it's crazy. I listen to it's a meditation, but it's like mindset. I can't think of the name of it. It's like mindset videos, but it's like meditation ones. It's like gratitude and abundance and things like that every morning. And honestly, if I don't listen to that in the morning, it's like my day is like, it's like it gives me a sense of like peace and focus, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I also find helps with your finances as well as your real life is writing things down.
Yes.
Setting dates, like we talked about bills earlier. I was in school. It never made sense. It never clicked. It was just like, okay, smart girl, she has access for this, you know. But it was never like, okay, apply that to, like, for real, really apply it.
Right.
And when you do, it's like, okay, it makes sense. But I think that as an education system, we have to create a way to really make people or students understand that, really do that. Like, really practice these things. Really start this from when you're 5 years old or 3 or 2. You know, have habits, positive habits and skills. Like, yes, I tell my son, don't leave your house if your bed's not made. Do everything before you leave. Have fun later. Do what you gotta do now. Be physically active. And those are all things that successful people, whatever they're in, whether it's athletic, financial, actor, comedian, whatever it is, that's what they say.
Every single time.
Yep.
Is there anything that we haven't discussed that you'd like to discuss?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good.
You have any questions for me?
Yeah, so how was the podcast summit?
It was absolutely amazing. Because at first I wasn't gonna do it. I heard about it, I said, no, I'm not gonna do it. I was just in a deep mental space. I wasn't motivated at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I came back around again. It's like, you know what, Satara, you're saying if you want to make money from your podcast, this is where you need to be if you want to learn. Mm-hmm. So I went, and it was worth every single penny. I met a lot of great people. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to interview someone after you that I met while I was there. So yeah, I definitely made connections, made new friends that I can keep in contact with.
And you know how they say your network is your network.
Yes, it is.
It becomes real when you start doing things, right?
Yep. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to build my network and create a community of motivated individuals doing great things and go from there.
I mean, I have a lot of questions. I had another one. It was a good one. Okay, so when you went there, right? Like, how did you feel about putting yourself out there to people? Like, was it something that is not easy for you, or?
Oh no, that's still fun. That is still